Hello everyone and welcome to Last Movie Us. Today I have 10 great new movies released. Gory action movies, thrillers, action comedies, biopics and more in today's episode. Make yourself comfortable and have a great time watching. Number 10, The Mother. The Mother is a fast-paced and thrilling film that combines action, drama, and emotion. Starring Jennifer Lopez as a former U.S. military operative who comes out of hiding her past to protect her daughter from dangerous enemies. Lopez delivers a convincing performance as a mother who will stop at nothing to save her child, and she handles the fight scenes with skill and grace. The film also explores the themes of identity, sacrifice, and family, giving some depth to the characters and their relationships. However, the film also has some major flaws that prevent it from being a great thriller. The most obvious one is the generic and predictable plot, which borrows heavily from other spy movies and offers few surprises or twists. The film tries to balance realism and fantasy, but it often fails to do either convincingly. Despite its ratings, The Mother is a film that will keep you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. It is a film that will make you feel the adrenaline, the suspense, and the emotion of the mother's journey. Number 9, Reality. Reality is a drama film directed by Tina Satter, based on the FBI interrogation transcript of American intelligence leaker Reality winner, who was arrested in 2017 for leaking classified documents about possible Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. elections. The film follows the transcript word for word, without any embellishment or dramatization. The film is set almost entirely in Reality's house, where she is confronted by the FBI agents who have a warrant to search her belongings and question her about the leak. The film captures the mundane details of Reality's life, such as her pet dog and cat, her yoga and CrossFit hobbies, and her desire to work as a translator in Afghanistan. The film also shows the gradual breakdown of Reality's defenses, as she goes from denying any involvement to confessing that she printed and mailed the document to an online publication. Sydney Sweeney delivers a phenomenal performance as Reality winner, portraying her as a complex and sympathetic character who is caught between her patriotism and her conscience. Sweeney shows Reality's fear, confusion, anger, and regret with subtle expressions and gestures. She also conveys Reality's intelligence and idealism, as well as her naivety and impulsiveness. It shows how one person's act of courage can have serious consequences for themselves and others. It also shows how the state can use its power to intimidate and silence dissenters. Number 8, Blood Gold. Blood Gold is a brutal and thrilling film that mixes historical drama with exploitation cinema. The film is set in the spring of 1945, just before the end of World War II. Heinrich, a decorated Wehrmacht veteran, is captured and hanged by a sadistic SS leader for desertion. He is rescued by Elsa, who brings him to her farm home that she shares with her brother, Paul. In the nearby village, the SS arrive and begin to search for a hidden gold that belongs to a Jewish family. A violent confrontation ensues between the villagers and the Nazis, as Heinrich tries to find his daughter and escape with Elsa and Paul. The pros of the film are its fast pace, its stylish cinematography, its charismatic cast, and its inventive kills. The film does not shy away from showing the brutality of war and the cruelty of the Nazis, but it also injects some dark comedy and irony into the mix. The film also has some surprising revelations and twists that keep the audience engaged. The cons of the film are its lack of depth, its predictability, and its numbing effect. The film does not explore much of the historical or moral aspects of the war, nor does it develop much of the characters' backgrounds or motivations. Overall, Blood Gold is a fun and entertaining film for fans of action-packed war movies with a twist. It is not a serious or realistic depiction of World War II, but rather a pulpy and revisionist fantasy that offers some escapism and satisfaction. The film is worth seeing for its visual flair, its energetic performances, and its creative carnage. Number 7, Sisu. Believe it or not, among the premieres is another movie with an almost identical premise, but released a little earlier and far more inventive in terms of enemy elimination. Sisu is a thrilling and gory action movie that pays homage to the classics of the genre, such as Rambo and the Good, the Bad and the Ugly. In the rugged Lapland wilderness, film follows a solitary Finnish prospector who clashes with a group of Nazis over his gold during the last days of World War II. The prospector, who is also a legendary ex-commando with a tragic past, unleashes his unstoppable determination and skill to get his gold back and kill every Nazi in his way. The film is a showcase of Tomala's stoic and badass performance, as well as the impressive cinematography and production design that create a bleak and realistic depiction of the war-torn Finnish landscape. The film does not shy away from showing the brutality and violence of the conflict, with plenty of blood, gore, and explosions. The film also has a dark sense of humor and some memorable one-liners that lighten up the mood. Sisu is a film that will appeal to fans of action and exploitation cinema, who are looking for a fun and satisfying ride. The film is an inspired pastiche that gives bloody satisfaction to action aficionados. However, those who are looking for more substance or originality may find Sisu lacking in both. Number 6, Ride On. Ride On is an action comedy drama film starring Jackie Chan as a washed-up stuntman and his stunt horse who become an overnight social media sensation when their real-life fight with debt collectors goes viral. Ride On mixes action, humor, and emotion. The film follows Luo Zhilong, a former stunt performer who lives in a loft over his horse's stable. Luo struggles to make ends meet and to take care of his beloved horse, Red Hair. Luo also tries to reconnect with his estranged daughter, Bao, who asks her lawyer boyfriend, Mickey, to defend her dad and his horse in court. Luo and Red Hair become famous when their fight with debt collectors is recorded and uploaded online. Luo gets a second chance to revive his stunt career and his family. The movie has some redeeming qualities, such as Chan's fight scenes, which showcase his signature style and humor. He also has some touching moments with his daughter and his horse, showing his softer side. The movie also pays homage to Chan's classic stunts and movies, which will please his fans. Ride On is one of the funniest films of 2023 at this moment, and I highly recommend it to anyone who loves action, comedy, or drama films. Number 5, Hypnotic. Hypnotic is a gripping and twisty film that mixes action, mystery, and sci-fi. The film follows Danny Rourke, an Austin Police Department detective who recalls to his therapist the abduction of his 7-year-old daughter, Minnie, which led to the dissolution of his marriage. Rourke gets a clue about his daughter's whereabouts when he witnesses a mysterious man named Lev Del Rey use his hypnotic powers to rob a bank and escape. Rourke teams up with Diana Cruz, a fortune teller and a former hypnotist trained by a secretive government division. Together, they try to stop Del Rey from unleashing a powerful weapon called Domino that can control people's minds. The film's strongest points are its visual style, its fast pace, and its inventive premise. Rodriguez knows how to create a captivating world where reality and illusion blur, and he keeps the audience on the edge of their seats with unexpected revelations and surprises. The most obvious flaw is Affleck's performance, which is bland and wooden. He fails to convey the emotional depth and complexity of his character, and he has no chemistry with Braga. Hypnotic is worth seeing if you are a fan of Rodriguez or sci-fi thrillers in general, but don't expect it to be flawless or profound. It is a fun and entertaining ride, but not a memorable or satisfying one. Number 4, Influencer. Influencer is a smart and scary film that mixes horror, mystery, and social commentary. The film follows Madison, a social media influencer who is having a lonely and uneventful trip in Thailand despite what she tells her followers. While reflecting on her boyfriend canceling the trip, she meets CW, a fearless and enigmatic traveler who offers to take her to some of the most worthy locations. Together they share authentic meals and drinks with locals, discussing the differences between Madison's online presence and CW's lack of one. After showing Madison all of the amazing sights, things take a different turn when CW brings her to a surprise location, a deserted island that is completely off the grid. The movie is a clever and entertaining twist on the stalker genre, with a non-linear narrative that keeps the audience guessing. The movie explores the themes of identity, deception, and obsession in the age of social media, and how appearances can be deceiving. It benefits from strong performances by Emily Tennant as Madison and Cassandra Nod as CW, who create a believable and tense dynamic. The movie also has some shocking and gruesome moments that will satisfy horror fans. The drawbacks are that it does not delve deep enough into the psychology of the characters or the social commentary, and that it relies on some cliches and coincidences. Anyway, Influencer is a fun and engaging horror thriller that offers a fresh take on the influencer culture and its dangers. Number 3, Blackberry. Blackberry is a biographical comedy drama film directed by Matt Johnson, and based on the book Losing the Signal. The untold story behind the extraordinary rise and spectacular fall of Blackberry by Jackie McNish and Sean Silkoff. Blackberry is a riveting and hilarious account of the rise and fall of the world's first smartphone, created by two Canadian entrepreneurs who had a vision but not a clue. The film shows how Lazaridis and Balsillie created the Blackberry device that revolutionized communication and business, but also how their different personalities and visions clashed and compromised their company's future. The movie is structured as a series of flashbacks, alternating between the glory days of Blackberry's dominance and the humiliating aftermath of its collapse. The contrast is stark and tragicomic, as we see how the company went from being a global sensation to a laughingstock, outsmarted by Apple and Samsung. The movie does not shy away from showing the flaws and mistakes of its protagonists, who are portrayed as arrogant, naive, greedy, and stubborn. but it also gives them credit for their innovation, ambition, and passion. Blackberry is a rare example of a tech movie that does not romanticize or demonize its subject, but tells it like it was, a fascinating story of human folly and brilliance. The movie is full of sharp dialogue, memorable scenes, and great performances. Blackberry is a must-see for anyone who loves technology, comedy, or history. Number 2, Padre Pio. Padre Pio is a challenging and provocative film that mixes history, spirituality, and psychology. The film follows Padre Pio's life from his childhood in Pietrelcina to his death in San Giovanni Rotondo, where he spent most of his ministry. The film shows how Padre Pio faced persecution, suspicion, and temptation from both the church and the world, while also healing, comforting, and inspiring millions of people with his faith and compassion. The film's biggest flaw is LaBeouf's performance, which is not only unconvincing but also distracting. LaBeouf plays Pio as a modern and vulgar character who curses, smokes and confronts his critics with aggression. He also seems to be using the film as a platform to address his own personal issues. This makes the film feel more like a self-indulgent therapy session than a respectful portrayal of a revered figure. The film does have some redeeming qualities, such as the cinematography by Stefano Fallavine, which captures the beauty and harshness of the Italian countryside, and the score by Joe Delia, which creates a haunting and atmospheric mood. Padre Pio is a film that might appeal to fans of Ferrara's unconventional style or LaBeouf's controversial persona, but it is unlikely to satisfy anyone looking for a faithful or insightful depiction of the saint's life. The film is in need of a miracle that never comes. Number 1, To Catch a Killer. To Catch a Killer is a gripping and twisty film that mixes action, mystery, and drama. The film follows Eleanor, a young and talented but troubled officer of the Baltimore Police Department who is wrestling with the demons of her past. She is recruited by Landmark, the FBI's chief investigator, to help profile and track down a sniper who is committing a series of seemingly unrelated mass shootings. As the police and FBI launch a nationwide manhunt, they are thwarted at every turn by the killer's unprecedented behavior. Given her tortured psyche, Eleanor may be the only person who can understand the mind of their assailant and bring him to justice. The film has some strengths, such as the cinematography by Rodrigo Prieto, the score by Johnny Greenwood, and the performances by Woodley and Mendelsohn, who have a good chemistry and convey their characters' flaws and conflicts. The film also raises some interesting questions about justice, morality, and responsibility in a society that is plagued by violence and corruption. However, the film also has many weaknesses, such as the heavy-handed and preachy message, its political agenda and its portrayal of certain groups as villains. It is not a complete waste of time, but it is not a memorable or satisfying watch either. It might appeal to some fans of the genre or the actors, but it will not impress anyone who is looking for a smart and engaging thriller. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Feel free to share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel and click the buttons below the player. And see you in the next issue. Bye.